B School and Masters in Economics from Karnataka State Open University. Ma'am has secured first rank in her MA in Economics. She has eligibility for KSET, was awarded a doctorate in management from the University of Mysore. She has 20 research papers and publication to her credit which are published in highlighted journals. The research paper titled is Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, having an impact on the financial literacy of slum dwellers of Bengaluru, has been presented in the World Finance and Banking Symposium December 30-15, 2020, Vilnius, Lithuania, Europe. Ma'am is expertise and area of interest and competence in the area of stock market and derivatives trading. She is passionate trader with more than a decade of experience in cash and F&O segment. She has undergone extensive training in technical analysis and charting patterns, completed several courses on stock market, derivatives segment from Growth Avenues and New Trader Institute, founded by Dr. C.K. Narayan at Dalal Street. Let us all extend a warm welcome to Dr. Divya ma'am with a round of applause as we invite them to take over the session. Over to you, ma'am.
YouTube live, yes.
So, I'm Dr. Divya. First, I thank Dr. Yogi sir for giving me an opportunity to conduct this workshop. Also, thank the principal and other faculties for arranging this guest lecture. So, all of you, I think, you are studying the subject security analysis and portfolio management, right? So, what you studied there? SAPM subject. I think you'll be studying this SAPM subject. What exactly you are studying in that subject? Good investment in the stock market, right? So, I mean, among you, how many of you have invested in the stock market already trading? Only one?
That is Harish.
Why people invest in stock market?
Raise your hands now. You are a speculator, that's a different case.
So, how many of you have the demat account? So, all of you know how to trade that. So, why usually the people invest in stock market? So, stock market means usually you invest in equity shares, right? Equity shares. So, why people invest in equity? I think recently you know it. Huge crash in the market, huge amount of risk is there. So, lot of volatility will be there, high risk. So, why people invest in stock market? What is the basic reason for investing in the stock market? What is the benefit you get by investing in equity? You get returns, right? What are the returns? You're investing in equity shares of a company, you get returns. What are the returns you get? You get dividend, then capital appreciation. Dividend regularly you will get. Is it compulsory? Compulsory you will get dividend. Sometimes the company may declare dividend and sometimes they may not declare it. It is left to the company, right? The dividend. So what about capital appreciation? Capital appreciation is the difference between your buying price and the selling price. Because in investment, the main objective of investment is why people invest mainly to get the returns. So to maximize the return. So but here what happens is, in most of the investment arrangements, Negative return which is less than the inflation rate. So you know the inflation rate, right? What do you mean by inflation? Inflation. The prices of the products will keep on increasing, the money will be losing its purchasing power. How it is related to the investments or the returns? What is the minimum return you require? So for example, assume you have 10 lakh rupees with you. You're planning to buy a car. 10 lakh rupees. So instead of buying a car, you thought of let me invest for one year. You've invested in the FD. What is the FD interest rate? 7%. That means your 10 lakh rupees after 1 year it becomes 10 lakh 70,000. You wanted to buy a car, but you postponed your purchasing of the car. So you thought let me invest for 1 year. So you got 7%, 10 lakh 70,000. But assume the car inflation, the car prices have increased by 10%. For example, whatever the car you wanted to buy, today it is 10 lakh, next year it became 11 lakh, 10% inflation. So your return on investment is 7%, but your inflation is 10%. That means here the car price has become 11 lakh. That means here whatever the FD you made, 10 lakh, the withdrawing 10 lakh 70,000, are you able to buy the same, the car with the same amount? Is it a useful investment? That means here the return actually whatever you are earning, it depends upon the inflation. That is always your return on investment, if it is more than the inflation rate, then only your money is actually growing. You made FD of 7%, but actually your money didn't grow, right? You sacrificed 1 year consumption. Now bought the car last year only, it's 10 lakh 70,000. But you sacrificed 1 year consumption and invested for 1 year. And with that investment, you got a return of 7%, which is less than the inflation. The car price is now 11 lakh. So this investment has no meaning. But actually speaking, very few investment alternatives are there which gives a return which is above the inflation rate. Inflation rate may be 7% or 8%, but in bank, FD or post office or wherever you invest in the government, the return is always, most of the time, it is less than the inflation rate. But there are some certain category of investments which gives you a return better than the inflation. So that one category is equity. Equity shares, investing in the stock market. So if you are investing wisely, so you are able to get a return better than the inflation rate. That means your money is actually growing. So the money is actually growing means, your return should be more than the inflation rate. So but the risk also will be there now. What is the risk involved in investment in equity? So many of you invested in the demat account. What is your the portfolio status now? Negative? Will it be always in the green color? Profit? Keep on fluctuating. Sometimes you will have profit, sometimes loss. So that means here the lot of risk is there. So because here you used to invest in bank, FD, post office, LIC. Are you taking any risk there? Zero risk, right? We call these as the risk-free asset category because you are expecting 7% in FD. So your actual return is also 7% only. There is no deviation between your actual return and the expected return. Every day will your FD interest fluctuates, but that is not the case in case of equity shares. In equity, usually the return depends upon so many factors. For example, from past few days, are you observing the market condition? So what is the condition in the market? From how many days the Nifty crashed? 9 consecutive days. Nifty crashed like anything. What is the reason? What is the main reason for the crash in the stock market? The US tariff, the For example, you have money which is meant for paying fees, or there is some sister's marriage, or some commitment is there. Please don't put those kind of money into the market. Because the market is subjected to fluctuation. So unless you invest for long term, so sometimes there is a possibility of incurring loss. You should have, sometimes the money will be stuck, but you should be able to recover over a long period of time. That means here what I say is, don't invest if you have some fixed commitment. On the other hand, if you have some extra money, what is not required for anything. Sometimes, for example, you used to spend, right? You used to go with your friends, or you used to spend, for example, in 1 month, you can invest 1,000. That 1,000 is not at all required. So those kind of money, you can invest in the stock market. You don't have any fixed commitment, some extra fund is there. Those things you can invest in the market. So here, the basics of trading. Next slide. First is the demat account, we said, right? All of you have opened the demat account, many of you. How to open the demat account? How to open the demat account? In which platforms you have opened demat account? Angel investors then. So you have angel investors, angel one then. Upstock, correct? Then Zerodha, then. Yeah. How to open the demat account? What is the documents required? PAN card, Aadhaar card, KYC bank statements, and you should have a bank account, right? So it's very easy to open a demat account. Even if you just go to the YouTube videos, the videos are available how to open the demat account. If you have the PAN card, Aadhaar, your photo, bank statements, you can open demat account yourself. Correct? So it's very easy. I mean, here if you have a demat account, you can trade in which and all securities. You can, shares, equity shares. So you can trade in the equity shares, then you can trade in the IPOs. Initial public offering. What is IPOs? The company is issuing some new shares to the public. You can invest in IPOs, government securities. That means here, if you have the basic demat account, you can trade with shares, IPOs, mutual funds, as well as the future and options. Even commodities, government securities. That means up to here. Even index also. In this list, only currencies you need a different demat account. Then other than that, with the regular demat account, you are able to invest in all other investments. So for investing or opening demat account, it is very easy. You can just check. So here, we used to have the online banking. Online banking has to be activated for the bank's bank account. Then we used to transfer the funds from the NEFT and all. But now that's simplified. Even you use the UPI, right? All of you have the GPay, Paytm. So even that option is there. So if you want to add some funds to the demat account, so add fund option will be there. So if you just specify 5,000 or 1,000 or whatever, either it will ask whether you will transfer to the demat account through the net banking or the UPI. So if it is UPI also, it will just connect. I think all of you know. Daily you will be using the UPI. Similar manner, you can transfer the funds to the demat account. So that is the demat account, opening of demat account. And in the demat account, you can trade with equity shares, and there will be option to trade with IPOs also. You can apply for initial public offering, government securities, and the main basic demat account. Initially, they used to activate the equity segment. That one we call it as the cash segment, which allows you to trade in the equity shares. On the other hand, if you want to trade in F&O segment, what is that F&O segment? Options, futures. You have to, ask your broker to activate it. There will be one option. So first, you become familiar with the equity trading. So once you start understanding how to trade in the equity, you will start trading in the F&O segment. So in the basic demat account, already the cash segment means equity segment is already activated. So if you want to trade in he will activate. Then you can also start trading with the futures and options. So then usually you know the commodities market also, right? What is commodities trading? You trade in the gold, silver, the oils, agriculture and non-agriculture commodities will be there. So you can also start trading with the commodities market. For that also, you should send a request to your broker to activate the commodity segment. So there will be an option in your Demat account. So if you just send the request in 24 hours, it's going to activate. You can trade in the commodities as well. But in the commodity segment, what happens is, it is only the future and options. If you want to trade in commodities, it is only the, you can buy the commodity futures or you can trade in the commodity options. It's not like you can take delivery of the commodities like the shares. You can buy and hold.
20 minutes again.
That kind of strategy is not available in the commodities. Commodities, you are trading only with the F and O combinations. Commodity futures or commodity options you can trade. So, but if you want to invest in government securities, Kannada? So, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರುತ್ತಾ? So, fine. So, what do you mean by this NSDL, CSDL? Yeah, deposit risk. What do you mean by deposit risk? So now all the securities are dematerialized. Dematerialized, what do you mean by dematerialized?